going to see the biological tools. In case of biotechnology, to produce recombinant DNA, the different biological tools are very necessary, and they are the enzymes, vectors, and the competent host. The enzymes to cut the DNA, it is very essential. There are the different enzymes which play important role in the biotechnology to produce the recombinant DNA. To cut the DNA, endonuclease enzyme is necessary. To join the DNA, the ligase enzyme is necessary. As like this, there are the different enzymes which are necessary in a biotechnology, and there are the different vectors. The vector means the DNA which carry the foreign gene is called the vector. There are the different vectors like a plasmid, cosmid, bacteriophage, yak. These are the different vectors. And competent host is also necessary. The competent host may be the bacteria, virus, or eukaryotic cells. So today we are going towards firstly the endonuclease enzyme. The endonuclease enzyme, the types of enzymes. The enzymes means it is necessary to cut the DNA. Especially the nuclease enzyme, it is essential. It is very essential to cut the DNA. And this endonuclease enzyme, it cut the DNA. And that's why it is also called as the biological scissor, as well as it is also called as the molecular scissor, genetic scalpel. It is also called because it cut the DNA. And there are the two types of the endonuclease enzyme or the nuclease enzyme. Exonuclease means it cut the DNA. Exonuclease means it cut the DNA. Suppose this is the DNA, and when it cut at the end part, then it is called the exonuclease. That is, here it cut the end part of this DNA. And when suppose this is the another DNA, and when with the help of enzyme it cut the DNA, middle part of the DNA, then it is called the endonuclease enzyme. So the enzyme which cut end part of the DNA, the enzyme which cut end part of the DNA is called the exonuclease enzyme. And the enzyme which cut middle part of the DNA, then it is called the endonuclease enzyme. So the exonuclease and endonuclease means the which cut the end part of the DNA, then it is called the exonuclease enzyme. And which cut within the DNA or the middle part of the DNA, then it is called the endonuclease enzyme. Especially this restricted endonuclease enzyme, they are produced from the bacteria. From what type of the bacteria or the different types of the bacteria, the enzymes are collected or it is produced, and the name is given. And especially such restricted endonuclease enzyme, it kills the viral DNA. So in today's period, in COVID-19, here this restricted endonuclease enzyme which is collected from that bacteria, it may kill the viral DNA. Then here there are the different enzymes necessary for the nomenclature, how the nomenclature is given to that endonuclease enzyme. For example, here the E. coli R1, this is the E. coli R1, here the E. coli R1, E. coli R1. E stands for Escherichia. Escherichia is the genus, and the first letter of Escherichia is given to that, and the first two letters of the species this given to that restricted endonuclease enzyme. And the R stands for the strain of that bacteria, and the first stands for the type of enzyme which is necessary to, which is to be discovered. Generally, there are the different types endonuclease enzyme, second, first, second and the third. And generally, type second, it is used to produce the recombinant DNA, or it is used in a recombinant DNA technology. Here the ALU first. A stands for, here the first letter of this genus, it is selected for the ALU A, and the LU, it is selected for the luteus LU. This is selected for the nomenclature. So the nomenclature of this restricted endonuclease enzyme, it is depend upon what type of bacterium this enzyme it is collected. So the first letter of the genus, it is given to that nomenclature, and the first two letter of the species as well as the strain of the bacteria and the type of endonuclease enzyme. Here, all of together here the nomenclature is given to that restricted endonuclease enzyme. Then recognition sequence. Suppose here the DNA is present. Suppose this is the DNA, and when we apply this endonuclease enzyme on this DNA, then how it cut the DNA. Firstly, it recognize the sequence of DNA. This recognition sequence is called the restriction sequence or the restriction site, or it is also called the recognition sequence, and it is like a palindrome. What is the meaning of palindrome? Palindrome means, suppose look at here, first here the MALAYALAM. When we read forward direction, it is Malayalam, and when we read backward direction, it also shows the word MALAYALAM, Malayalam. So palindrome is nothing but it is a group of letter. It is the group of letter which makes the same word when we read forward direction and a backward direction. Then it is called as the Malayalam. Then it is called as the palindrome. In case of DNA, what is the meaning of palindrome? So the palindrome or the recognition sequence is, suppose here this is the DNA, the GAATTC is the sequence of that DNA. This is the sequence of that DNA. This is the GAATTC is the sequence of DNA. This is the sequence from 3' to 5'. This is the sequence of 3' to 5'. Here the sequence is the 3' to 5'. So when we read the forward direction GAATTC, then, and the another one is here GAATTC is the sequence. So this sequence of nucleotide is the same when we read forward and backward direction, when orientation is the kept same. So the orientation is the 3' and here the 5', here the 3' and 5'. So when we kept the orientation same, the sequence of nucleotide is also same, that is the G, C, A, T, and here G, C, A, T, A, T, T, A, T always pairs with A, C always pairs with G. So in case of DNA, palindrome or the recognition sequence, it is a sequence which is recognized by the endonuclease enzyme, and it is the same sequence of nucleotide when we read forward and a backward direction, when the orientation is kept the same. Okay, so this is the first characteristic in case of palindrome, and then it is the mirror image of first half of the strand, first half of the first strand, and here the second half of the second strand. Okay, so these are the mirror images. So look at here, this is the mirror image, here it is a mirror image. It is the mirror image of the DNA strand. So this is the second character. First half of the first strand. For example, here the G is present, here the G. Okay, here the G is present, and here also the G is present. Here the G is present, here also the G is present. So it is a mirror image. Then here the A, T, C. So these are the mirror image. First half of the first strand is the mirror image of first half of the second strand. So these are the characters of the palindrome or the recognition sequence. That means the endonuclease enzyme, when we apply or when it apply on the DNA to cut the DNA, firstly it recognizes the recognition sequence. So recognition sequence is nothing but like a palindrome. So when the question is asked in the exam, write a note on a palindrome or a recognition sequence. The first point should be the recognition sequence is nothing but the sequence of DNA which is recognized by an endonuclease enzyme to cut the DNA is called the recognition sequence. So which are the different characters of that recognition sequence? It is like a palindrome. So what is the meaning of palindrome? Palindrome means it is a group of letters which makes a group of letter which makes a word when we read forward as well as a backward direction. Then it is a in case of DNA, it is a sequence, a same sequence of nucleotide when we kept the orientation same. Okay, then it is the mirror image. Then what is the cleavage pattern? How it cleave? When the endonuclease enzyme, it is when an endonuclease enzyme it is applied on the DNA, then firstly it recognizes the recognition sequence, which is like a palindrome. Then it breaks the backbone of the histone molecule, that is the phosphodiester bond. You know that the phosphodiester bond is present here in between the two nucleotides. Here the phosphate group is present and it is attached to the third carbon atom of second nucleotide. So firstly it get break here. Here this phosphodiester bond it get break, and then again it breaks the weak hydrogen bonds. Again it breaks the weak hydrogen bonds. Here the weak hydrogen bonds which are present in between the two strands, that is between ATGC. Here these weak hydrogen bonds are present, they get break. So firstly phosphodiester bond it get break, then the weak hydrogen bonds are breaked, and here a sticky strand is produced. Here the sticky strand is produced. This is the sticky strand. This is the sticky strand. This sticky strand is produced. Why it is called the sticky strand? Because at these strands the foreign DNA, the strand of foreign DNA, it get attached during the formation of recombinant DNA. That's why it is called the sticky strand. Okay, so this is the cleavage pattern. To cleave means the break. The DNA get break with the help of endonuclease enzyme is called the cleavage pattern. So this is, firstly remember that during the cleavage, during the breaking of the DNA, firstly this endonuclease enzyme it breaks the phosphodiester bond, and then it break the weak hydrogen bond. That is, it firstly break the backbone of the DNA, and the backbone of the DNA it is nothing but the phosphodiester bond. This after that the weak hydrogen bonds which are present in between the complementary DNA it get break, and then here the two sticky strands are produced. So for cleavage pattern Mg++ ions are needed. So it is like a palindrome CTTAAG. Here the GAA TTC, and here the weak hydrogen bonds or here it get break, and the two strands or the sticky strands are produced. Then the another tool is the cloning vector. Vector, that is which carry the foreign gene, the DNA which has capacity to carry the foreign gene is called the vector. There are the different vectors, the plasmid, cosmid, bacteriophage, yak. These are the different vector. With the help of that, the foreign gene is carried from one organism or from the bacteria to another host. Suppose that the gene from human, it is collected, it is isolated. This gene, it is carried into the bacterial host. Then here the vector is necessary. So first of all, what is the meaning of vector? The vector means the DNA which has ability to carry the foreign gene is called the vector. So it should have a different characteristic. Which are the different characteristic here? It should be, or the good vector has a different ability. The first ability is it has an independent replication capacity. It should have a independent replication capacity. You know that the replication means the exact copy is called the replication, or it is called the replica. So the exact copy is made, or it should have a ability to replicate itself. It should have ability to produce the exact copy, and for that purpose it should have a replication ability or the replication site. You have seen that replication capacity in the DNA or the DNA replication. So the replication site should be present in that vector. Then another character is like it can be easily introduced into the host. So for that purpose, here the molecular weight should be less. Then the marker gene for the antibiotic resistant. It should have a marker gene for the antibiotic resistant. You know that in a culture medium, whenever you added the antibiotics, so to fight against that, it should have a marker gene. Then the cleavage site, it should have a cleavage site. So without cleavage, without breaking up the DNA, we cannot insert the foreign DNA. For that purpose, it should have a cleavage site. Then the control elements like a promoter, it should have a control elements like a promoter, as well as the ribosomal binding site. Ribosomal binding site, promoter, operator. So without promoter or the operator, the new DNA or the RNA cannot be synthesized, or the enzymes cannot be synthesized. You have seen in a operon concept. So it should have a control element like a promoter, operator, as well as the ribosomal binding site. And the natural plasmid do not have all such ability. So it should be constructed. There are the different types of the plasmid like a PBr322. P indicates the plasmid, B and R indicates the name of the scientist, Bolivar and the Rodriguez, and the 322 are the numericals. As like this, here the different plasmids are produced with the help of that plasmid, as well as the yak, that is yeast artificial chromosome, lambda phage DNA. With the help of that, we can produce the different cloning vectors. So here the cloning vector is present. The plasmid, it should have a replication site, it should have a cleavage site, it should have a marker gene, and there are the different, as like this. Here we can introduce here the plasmid or the foreign gene, and we can produce the different plasmids. The plasmid vector for the plant, which are the different plasmid vector for the plant? The Agrobacterium tumefaciens is the plasmid vector for the plant. With the help of that Agrobacterium tumefaciens, we can introduce the foreign gene into the plant. Suppose this is the plasmid Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and it having a plasmid gene. This is the tumefaciens, and it is a soil bacterium. It is present in the soil, and it produces the tumors on the plant. Here it produces the tumors on the plant. That's why it is called the TI plasmid. That is tumor inducing gene. That's why it is called the TI gene or the TI plasmid. as well as it contain the transposons called the tDNA. It contain the transposons. The transposons are nothing but suppose this is the DNA, and this part it again join to that DNA, then this is called the transposon. Trans means transfer the position of DNA itself is called the transposon. Transfer the position of DNA itself is called the transposon. Okay, so the transposon transfer the position of DNA itself. Who transfer its position? Itself. It transfer itself its position. That's why it is called the transposon. So it having the transposon, there are the different types of the transposons. The DNA transposon, as well as the copy paste transposon, as well as the reverse transcriptase or the retrotransposons. That is with the help of reverse transcriptase enzyme. Here it get change its position. Here it changes its position. So the DNA, that is the, this is the DNA. Here the DNA is present, and this DNA it transfer its position here, then it is called the DNA transposon. Okay, and when this is the DNA, from that DNA when the messenger RNA is produced, and from that messenger RNA, this is the DNA, and from that DNA the messenger RNA is produced, and when this messenger RNA produces back the DNA, then it is called the reverse transposons. That is, DNA synthesizes messenger RNA by the process of transcription with the help of enzyme reverse transcriptase enzyme. So again by the enzyme transcriptase enzyme, but when messenger RNA again produces the DNA by the enzyme reverse transcriptase. Generally messenger RNA synthesizes the protein, but here, that is, DNA synthesizes messenger RNA synthesizes the protein, and then here but when the messenger RNA synthesizes back the DNA, then it is called the reverse by the enzyme reverse transcriptase enzyme. And such DNA, whenever such DNA it joins to the original DNA, then it is called the retrotransposons. So this bacterium, it having the retrotransposons. It having the retrotransposons as well as the DNA transposons. So the DNA transposons and the retrotransposons are present in that bacterium, and such DNAs, such transposons are called the tDNA. Then it insert the copies itself into the host, and transposon with new DNA can be inserted into the host cell. That is, the transposon with transposon, here the transposon with new DNA, here the new DNA can be added. New DNA can be added here. So the transposon with new DNA, it is inserted into the plant. It can be inserted into the plant. Suppose this is the plant. In this plant, it can be inserted. Here it can be inserted. And here the transgenic plants are produced. So the plasmid vector for the plant is the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and with the Agrobacterium tumefaciens we can produce the transgenic plant. So this is the vector, that is the plasmid. This plasmid having the replication site, and here the new gene can be inserted here. Okay, Then the another one is the competent host. So the recombinant DNA which is produced, it can be inserted, it can be transferred into the host. So the competent host should be there, and the competent host may be the bacteria, maybe the bacillus, haemophilus, or the Helicobacter pylori and E. coli are the different bacteria which are used or which are used as like a competent host. So these are the different biological tools. Which are the different biological tools? First is the enzyme, second one is the vector, and third one is the competent host. The enzyme, restricted endonuclease enzyme, mostly it is used in the recombinant DNA technology. There are the two types: exonuclease enzyme, endonuclease enzyme. The types of endonuclease enzymes are the three: first, second, and third. Generally second endonuclease enzyme is used, and then the here the nomenclature is on the basis of the which type of the bacterium they used to produce the restricted endonuclease enzyme. For example, E. coli R1. E stands for the first letter of the genus, CO stands for the first two letter of the species, R stands for the strain of that bacterium, and first or the second or the third, it indicates the type of enzyme, endonuclease enzyme. Then we have seen the cleavage pattern, as well as we have seen the palindromes. Okay. Then the vector means the which carry the foreign gene, or which the DNA which has capacity to carry the foreign gene. So the plasmids plasmids are nothing but a extra chromosomal it is a double stranded extra chromosome of a bacteria is called the plasmid. Double stranded extra chromosome of bacteria. It is a double stranded, look at here, it is a double stranded extra chromosome of bacteria is called the plasmid. Okay. So we have completed here the biological tools